25th of October report here today. Right, let's move on to the events. Today, I want to talk about the ground offensive by Israel into Gaza and its impact, okay? Because I feel that's important to keep yourself updated with the developments over here and then understand more how does it affect the economy. Now, Israel has warned that they will launch a ground offensive into Gaza after 16 days of airstrikes. Now, according to the Palestinian authorities, since Hamas launched its October assault on Israel, killing 1,400 people and taking more than 200 hostages, more than 5,000 people have been killed in Gaza via Israel's retaliation. And the Israel Defense Forces, or better known as IDF, said the only way for Israel to stop all these attacks is for Hamas to fully surrender and return Israeli hostages. Now, with regards to the time frame, when this ground attack is going to happen, we are getting different viewpoints. If you were to listen to the Israeli army radio, Israel would not attack until American forces arrive to the region as a backup to possible attack by forces other than Hamas, right? And that is the, if you've been following the news, that is referring more to the Iranian-backed forces Hezbollah in the north, the Lebanon, the Lebanon. Okay, so this is something that we need to look at. This is from the Israeli viewpoint. Now, the New York Times, however, reported that the White House wants Israel to delay its ground operations to allow more time for negotiations to release the hostages held by terrorists there, as well as humanitarian aids to enter Gaza. But they also reports that said yes, eventually US will allow Israel to go in, So this one is something that we need to know, because it's very, very important why we want to look at the ground attack, because the Middle East, and then you have the Iranians, you have the Lebanese, the Hezbollahs, and then the Syrians. They're all looking into this, and then they already warned, if you go into Gaza, you level Gaza, you start killing innocent people, we will retaliate, in different ways. Of course, that doesn't mean retaliate via fire with fire kind of thing, but who knows, that thing can actually escalate. Now, so far Hamas has already released 4 hostages so far, and are in negotiations to release 50 more hostages with conditions for allowing fuel into Gaza. Israel, however, is playing hardball and saying that will only allow fuel into Gaza if all the hostages are released, because they said that this fuel is not going directly to the civilians, but to strengthen and aid the the Hamas that's hiding in underground and all these kind of things. Now, in the past weekend, we had the Cairo summit, right? Peace summit, and we had all the Arab leaders condemning Israel bombardment. However, there were no Israel nor senior US officials there, so there wasn't any agreement towards containing the violence that we are seeing right now. So this is something that I think will continue for the foreseeable time, and it's causing a lot of tension among the Muslim countries, the Islamic countries. They are very, very unhappy with the situation, and they are condemning the West for being hypocrites, right? You blame Russia for invading Ukraine, but when it comes to Israeli invading Palestine and taking out the land, you keep quiet, you know. So this is something that, you know, you have big camps right now fighting over this particular issues. Okay, so but anyway, this is the view that's moving around right now, and obviously there will be a lot of opinions flying around, but here we will just focus mainly on the economic part of it and how we're going to deal with it. Okay, so anyway, AJ Banga, the president of World Bank, said having war is really not helpful for central banks who are finally trying to find their ways to a soft landing, because we had very good developments. You know, the economy was actually improving bit by bit, and also they were, you know, the jobs, overall jobs were strong, and we have also seen that in the US already. But with this war, it means it will be not easy to cool rapid inflation without triggering a recession. Okay, and indirectly this war, so we are seeing a lot of tension and also inflation slowly rising again. This morning we had the what do you call, the Australian inflation rising, and that has caused all the Aussie dollar and the Aussie dollar crosses to move up. Okay, so far Gaza, Israel conflict impact on the world economy is seen as more limited than the war in Ukraine, given Russia's role as the top energy producer and Ukraine as a major exporter of grain and fertilizer. Okay, so however, if this war spreads, right, things could change rapidly. Don't forget, we are talking about the Arabian world, and they hold a big bulk of oil there. The same with Russia, and they combined can actually cause a certain chaos in the market. So with that, you know, with this foothold, stronghold on the oil, right, this is how I see it, is that let's focus on the oil market for the time being, as rising oil prices would pressure the Fed, i.e. the Federal Reserve and other central banks, to further push up interest rates unless central bankers think that the rising oil price is not sustainable. Okay, so this is the thing, that's the key word. If it's not sustainable, then they're not worried, they won't be worrying. But if they think that this rising oil price is going to be there for a foreseeable time, it will be a different scenario already. Okay, and it's so important. Oil is definitely important in our life. So if you look at the oil prices, right, the IMF, International Monetary Fund, estimates that a sustained 10% increase in oil prices shaves 0.15 percentage points of global economic growth and adds 0.4 points to inflation in the following year. So this is no small thing, you know. So that's the reason why we are looking into it very closely, the development of this war. So we can only hope for peace and logic to prevail. There are a lot of developments right now, and it's making the 2023 into a really unforgettable year. Let's just everybody pray for peace. And this is the fundamental report for today.